Okay, so yeah, let's just move you out of the way or you can see the screen. So, yes, thank you everyone for coming. So Nina, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, sure. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. And I'm Nina Tang, the Associate Dean of Faculty of International Media, Communication University of China. Should we just get started? I think that's all
Yeah,
for my self-introduction.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
Uh,
fine. And then just hand over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Um, my name's Stuart. I'm a senior lecturer at Nottingham Trent University, where I've worked, oh, man and boy, for 20, more than 20 years. But since 2018, I'm very privileged and lucky enough to be in the partnership with CUC, where I met the lovely Stella as well.
And yes, I'm Stella Bunnag, and I'm a senior lecturer on the partnership. I've worked here with Stuart since again 2018. And today, Nina will talk a little bit more about the partnership in after I've introduced what we're going to do today. And what we're talking about is so with a move back to in-country teaching in China after the pandemic, which many of you are starting to do as well this year, we kind of started to reevaluate how we jointly work together. Um, that's both students and staff. It's been quite a shift, I think, in our thinking. And we want to focus on three of the areas that we've done some work on and that we plan to do some work on. And those are a cultural exchange programme, um, our presentations and research that we're doing around the programme, and then also how we're gathering feedback from our students. There are a lot of other areas that we could talk about. There isn't time today, but we hope that we can hear more from you as well later when we do our discussion around how you forged equitable ties within your own partnerships. So I'll now hand over to Nina, who's just going to tell you a little bit about the partnership that we have.
Thanks, Stella. And firstly, I want to tell everyone that the history of our joint education. I think COC and NTU started our cooperation back in 2015. And we had our first batch of postgraduate students in 2016. And for now, it's almost 8 years. And we have developed our cooperation from postgraduate level to undergraduate level. Right now, we have undergraduate level cooperation in the major of advertising or public relations. And at the postgraduate level, we have 3 programs. So in the past 8 years, I think we had built a pretty mature relationship with NTU, and especially after the pandemic, we started to reevaluate our partnership because you know that I think at the first stage, we focus on the work at the work level. We are trying everything to, how to say, we work out the curriculum, and we make sure that teachers from NTU and can come to China, and teachers from COC, teachers from both sides can work together to deliver the courses of these programs. I think that's mostly work focused. Okay, while I think 3 years of pandemic have made some change in this relationship. And I think that's because people were quite isolated back in that time. And then we started to re-look at our relationship, and we found that apart from work, we can do a lot together. So when we gathered together in the first half this year, we had some talks, and we found that we could do many things, both for the students and for the staff. Okay, and I think the keywords for the future development of our partnership is to build more trust. That's what we already have, and to build more trust in the students and teachers. Okay, we can create an atmosphere of change, intercultural change, and also we will try our best to create an international community inside our campus. Okay, you know, in 2021, Faculty of International Communication has been given a new responsibility that we are already in charge of the international students of CUC. So we had a great idea that we can build this international community together with the international students. So with Stella, Stuart, and also my colleagues, we are trying to organize more cultural activities to bring them together. So I think that's the interest of our work. That's a good partnership between two sides, that we had the same ideal, and we will work hand in hand to realize this ideal. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nina. Absolutely everything. Nina's kind of set the scene for you, and we're going to talk through 3 areas that we're actually working on together. So one of which is a cultural exchange program. Now, you know, Stuart and I have done quite a lot of research on this. It's incredibly important to get students together to be practicing their natural everyday English, you know, which many of us found incredibly difficult online. It's about forging communities, connecting students with NTU who are in China, and vice versa. It's incredibly important. So during the pandemic, we have done this. We through our global lounge, which is a centre within NTU that's dedicated to the student experience. We set up lots of events. So we had got some students who were in the UK, a handful who'd come over for their second year. That was great. We could do lots of events with them. We set up language exchange buddies so that they could be practicing their English with other students. We've got them involved in pilots and research that we've done, all of which are really good skill building, community building, and language building activities. We also did for the students online who were in China a coffee culture and chattel event every week. That was run by some of the Global Lounge ambassadors, who are international students working and volunteering for the Global Lounge. So again, we were connecting the students with people of their own age, other students, other people from a range of cultures. So that was all, you know, quite good. However, there's a problem. There's a problem with this. Has anyone pick this up? Anyone got an idea what the problem was in terms of partnership? Silence. Okay, well,
so
it was
all from the NTU side of things.
right. Exactly. You nailed it. It's all really quite one-sided, and I think we did get a bit one-sided during COVID. and it's going back to China made us recognize that. So as Nina pointed out, with our return to China in May and June of this year, we thought, wouldn't it be a good idea to set up a global lounge in China? Which we did, or ICUC did. So they now have a global lounge. They're building on that international student experience. There are lots of international students on the CUC campus. So a team of us, both from within the Joint Institute, got together, planned this event, advertised this event, and it was really, really successful. We got about 20 nationalities in total across the campus, all came along for this pilot event. I'll give you a little flavour. Okay, so yeah, I mean, food's a very good draw, but the students genuinely really enjoyed it and loved having that community space. It also allowed us to get feedback from the students about the kinds of things they would like to do. Um, and now we're in the process of planning, ready to implement that program of events and services. That are going to be offered through the Global Lounge. And the beauty of this is, we've worked as a team, we've planned this together. It's brought us closer together with the students and the staff, and we've really enjoyed it. And then around this program as well, we're building some joint research, and I'll hand over to Stuart to talk about this.
Yes, thank you very much, Stella, and before that, Nina. So, as you've heard, we've got an extensive partnership that we've built over several years now. And when it comes to research and presentations, if you want the answer to how, well, on the screen, you should hopefully see some of the outputs that we've had. So we've been very productive in terms of our staff activity. So we've written academic papers, we've written together, Stella and I have written together. You can see an article that we wrote in the bottom right-hand corner. And I would point out at the end of this session, we will be very happy to share the bibliography of what we've read and our outputs. Above that article, you can see an earlier paper that I wrote actually with one of the first cohorts of museum students that I taught with. And then the rest of the screen is all the things the students have been doing. They've been incredibly active and really positive. We've shattered the myth about students being passive and just receiving information. They've been so engaged and proactive. That includes leading sessions, helping us pronounce words in Chinese, for example, and giving talks, and have really enlivened the Global Lounge back at NTU. So in terms of that shift from being UK centric, this is top down in terms of our initiatives and the wonderful leadership of Professor Jin, who's the dean here at ICUC, and her colleagues like Nina, but also a kind of grassroots response. We give the students the opportunities and they really seize it. So that's wonderful to see. But even there, we can detect quite a bias, maybe that is coming from the UK. So if we think about what we would like to do in terms of the shift, our aspiration is to take a session like this and to build in your thoughts. That's why we really want to hear from you later on. But it's great that we're delivering this with Nina. We want everything that we do to be jointly presented and arranged, co-delivered, and also the ultimate goal is to disseminate what we're doing for you, for our community, and to do that by co-authoring research papers. So Stella's been doing wonderful work coordinating that now, and this is kind of the first stage in what we want to achieve. So our aim would be to evidence what we're doing, show best practice, reflect on our activities, and share that with the field. And to do that, again, everything is driven by being as equitable as possible. So that would include making sure that our outputs are not just in English, but will be at least in Chinese as well. So they're the sorts of things that we're doing. And of course, key to that is that it's a dialogue. So Stella will now talk about feedback.
Yes. So obviously we gather feedback from students. We've got, various different routes, probably much like yourselves in the partnership you're working on. So we use a university system halfway through the term, the end of the term. We have course committees. We have students on the different programs, their reps, and they can give their feedback on the program. Got individual projects that we've worked on. Students are giving feedback, and we're getting feedback all the time. We use WeChat, and we often put out messages to our groups to get a feel for what they want and what they like and what they don't like, etc. But again, we've got this strand running through here that this is kind of NTU focused, and our partner ICUC do their own feedback. So it got us to thinking, even though there could be challenges with this, but why are we replicating work? Could we be jointly selecting the questions that we ask our students and staff? Could we is there a particular time that would perhaps be better? Are we using the right platform? Is there a better platform we could use? Do we need to do the feedback in English? Would we get different results in Chinese? And also as well, putting questions that can into our feedback forms that that could be used in any joint research that we do. So we've started to think around this, and how we could be more jointly aligned in terms of how we're gathering feedback. So that is a bit of a whistle-stop tour through areas we're working on and will be working on. We'd like to hear more from you, because I'm sure there are a number of other areas that are kind of you're thinking about as we're talking. And I'll hand over to Stuart, who's going to set up a little discussion that we're going to have.
Yeah, exactly. So we've deliberately tried to go through that quite quickly so that we leave as much time as possible for the discussion areas. So on the screen, you can see that there are at least two areas that we would really like to hear from you on, in terms of you and your institution, and what steps you are taking, and what you would like to share about what works, maybe what is slightly less successful, and what your aspirations are for the future. And so we've allocated about 20 to 25 minutes for this. Stella reliably informs me that the breakout rooms that we're about to put you in will be more successful than when I do that with the students, which doesn't always work, but she says that you'll be chatting away like mad. So we thought about 20 to 25